What's up, Super Cool Nerds? Ricardo here with another edition of Super Cool Nerd Nation. It's been a few weeks since we've done another one of these, but I am back. I'm all settled at my job, and my first interview back is the one and only Shane. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good, man.
It's been a while since we've seen each other.
I know. It's been probably something at my old job, so...
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I actually found a photo on Facebook. It was in the memories of a Halloween party from like 4 or 5 years ago at Modus. You were there as...
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, as Batman.
This is Batman, that's right.
This is Batman.
Man, I remember Modus Digital. That was back when they were still in Plano.
Yeah, back in Plano.
Before they went over to, I think they're in Dallas now?
Yeah, they bounced around. They went from Plano to Frisco and then to Dallas. And I don't know, because Capture Dimensions was with them and they were in Frisco for a while too.
Okay, cool.
Which was the body scan thing.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
I swear too, Marlo was actually at that party also. She was a bartender. Small world.
Man,
yeah.
I don't really remember much of that party.
Yeah.
It doesn't how much fun I had.
Yeah, it was a fun night. Good time.
Man, so yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've seen each other. And you've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
We've known each other now right around 4 years.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit beforehand because that's right before your son was born.
Yeah, actually.
So, yeah, you walked into, it was at the time Collected Comics, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you were handing out flyers for
Epic, right?
Epic.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did I meet you first or did I meet your brother?
You probably met my brother first. No.
Did you come to the soft opening?
I did not.
I think he might have came in with another guy named... He met his friend Calvin at the time. I don't know if they're still friends or not.
I think they might be.
Well, they actually met... Calvin met his girlfriend at Epic. And I think Sergey met a girlfriend at Epic too. I was like a little love matchmaker there.
Aw, look at you.
Kind of crazy. That was a good time.
That was. I remember y'all did the thing at the Draft House.
Mm-hmm.
We did on the on one of the big screens. We did the Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The release of that. We did Mortal Kombat. Ended up doing a Mario Kart one. I did Smash Bros, I think, and then one other one. I think we did 4 or 5 events at Alamo, and then one at the Majestic or some... what's the other theater downtown? Like the older one, like Kessler, something like that.
To the Majestic or the Texas Theater.
Might have been. Well, because it was actually like where they do plays and stuff.
And what?
Maybe because they didn't actually have any screens at the time. It was like more of a stage and
it's Majestic.
Okay, yeah. So we did an NFL 2K, I think, or so, I don't know, whatever the hell new game came out at that time, and we did that was a huge turnout actually. That was crazy because that was like all the casual NFL players. Like that's a huge
thing for them.
Yeah, demographic and stuff too.
So since we're in the topic of Epic, how did that come about? Where did the idea come for you to want to do a gaming lounge?
Oh man, so I guess. It's a little interesting the way that it happened because there's multiple different ways I can say, oh, it came from this or it came from that, but I think the one that pops in my head every time anyone asks is that I actually grew up in Houston from 13 to 17, and at 17 I moved in with my sister up here in Frisco, and I was kind of couch surfing for a little bit, and I worked at a place called Mug and Mouse, which was like an internet cafe. It was like a little Asian ran shop, a little old Korean lady. I'm pretty sure it's Korean because they did boba tea and stuff like that. Sorry if but it was fun. She was super sweet.
No offense made.
Yeah, no offense. I mean, I'm pretty. Boba's Korean, right?
I think so. It's all anime to me.
Yeah, so it was really hard, but it was like a mother-daughter combo. But the mom was like had to be like 70 or 80, so it was like their family recipe on making the tapioca rice balls and stuff like that. So it was really cool. So it was basically like a boba cafe, and then they did like donuts in the morning, and then they'd shut down and do like sandwiches in the afternoon. But they had like 4 computers in the back, and they let people play, like they had like Dota and StarCraft and all whatever popular games back in 2008 or 9 was. So
like WoW.
Yeah, and people played WoW and stuff like that too. That actually what got me into WoW. I was addicted to WoW for a little while, not gonna lie. Play again casually now after not playing it for a couple of years, but I feel like that kind of like inspired me to be like, man, you can kind of have a combination of all the little things that you kind of love in one spot. Because I mean, now that I'm older, I know it's more of like a money grab because you're trying to make, you got a small business, you want to keep it afloat.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm gonna put a freaking arcade cabinet, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then just trying to get the income. But at that time, I was like 19 or 18, well actually 17 to 18. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So fast forward a couple years, I was making really good money, doing really well, and I was getting kind of burned out doing the stuff that I was doing, and I was like, well, I want to do something that's more fulfilling. What do I really want to do? And I came up with the idea of like, like an internet cafe, but something on a more grandiose scale where where people could actually like go more hardcore into their specific nerddom.
Not just computers, but also like PlayStation, Xbox, whatever.
Basically anything, any type of console, PC. Eventually, I wanted to do like more board games and stuff like that too. But but just like a mecca of places where you could kind of come to and hang out with people that are into the same thing as you. Because for me, growing up, like my parents weren't big into me playing video games. Didn't like that I was nerdy. My dad wanted me to go like work with tools and
I think that was anyone that grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. I think that's what it was like for us. Like, don't play video games, it'll rot your mind.
Yeah, exactly. My mom on the side would be like, let's go watch a sci-fi flick, but like aside from that, we'd have like our Chinese food and Star Trek lunch dates or whatever, but like, my dad wouldn't come to that because it's not his thing and stuff like that. So
hammer up some drywall, son.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So that's like trying to explain to him that I was into art and that kind of stuff, even as a career. I don't really think he understood the viability of it, whereas now it's everywhere. Esports, you can get paid for playing video games. You can get paid for someone watching you play video games. Like if I told that to my dad, which I have, it just blows his mind. He can't comprehend it. So, but yeah, so that kind of like is what made the idea come to life. And I was like, man, I just really want something epic, and that's kind of how
the name came about. Okay, I like that.
So yeah, it was called Epic Gaming Lounge and Cafe. Took about 2 to 3 years of planning. I'd say 2 years. 2 years of planning. We had a lot of setbacks after we got funding, just due to like finding location issues. We had a location that was like perfect, but there was some complications with that, and so we couldn't get the ideal location that we wanted. Had to settle for another one, and it was a lot more expensive, and we had already spent a ton of money on the architecture plans and build out of the other location. And so like we had a lot of setbacks, and finally we got it up and going, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, so there was always little things that would bother me, so I was always trying to tinker and add, and just build something I was really proud of, and like, it got pretty big pretty quickly, and then just the financial ruin after that kind of was like I had to make a hard call of, I could continue going the way that we were going, which we were making money, we were actually in a positive, but it wasn't enough to, if we kept going the way we were, it was steady, but not enough to where I'd be able to sustain like me working full time. Like I'd have to figure out something.
Yeah. So you guys were making money, but like in the long term, that positive margin would have kept getting shorter and
exactly.
shorter. Smaller.
Exactly. And so then it came to, well, I can pull out more loans and expand or do different things to get more money, kind of like the Mug and Mouse thing.
Yeah.
Which would have been to like expand to more tournaments or more locations, or figure out different means of making money, or I was like, I didn't really want to, but it was time to throw in the towel. And so that was mostly because opening a small business takes a huge strain on you. Both personally with your I ended up getting a divorce through the whole process, just because I was so engrossed in the business and not my family. And that's a hard thing, because it can go either way, because actually the business also opened my eyes to she wasn't the right person for me, because I wanted my partner to be excited about the things that I'm excited about. Yeah. And be up there with me and help me and want to see each other succeed and stuff like that. And that kind of opened my eyes that she's not a nerd. She's not a nerd person. She never was. And my wife at the time, we'd been together since I was 17, maybe 18. Basically the first girl that I met when I moved up to Dallas, and like we shacked up, and because of cost of living and stuff, we stayed together. And, kind of snowballed from there, and hey, we got a kid. So, but that's not a good reason to stay with somebody, That's, as you get older and learn, I learned a lot through that whole process, because I'm only 29 now. So that was the whole, like, I want to say 21, 22 to 25. Yeah. Where I, like, had a kid, started a business, closed a business, got a divorce, like, so it was like
you have lived an entire life in 4 or 5 years.
That was a ton, I'm not gonna lie. So, but because of the divorce and because of the closing of the business, like, it gave me a newfound like knowledge and freedom to kind of explore different areas that I was more interested in, and kind of pursue bigger goals and bigger projects, because I've always done animation and 3D design and things like that, but I was always kind of like shackled as to where I could work and how I could work, and that kind of stuff. So I started kind of expanding my repertoire and kind of figure out like what are the projects I want to work on, and then go after those.
And what were some of those projects that you wanted to go after?
So my end goal, my end all be all, is I want to work on movies. Okay. I've worked on a lot of independent films, a lot of small films, a lot of local indie films, whatever. I've done a couple of small pieces of like bigger films. Mostly like for visual effects and stuff, they'll form out shots, you know. So
yeah.
you know, one studio will get 10 shots, another one will get 10, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And so I've got to touch different ones here and there, but I also have always wanted to work on anime. And so Rooster Teeth was hiring, and so they hired me. This is actually more recent because I had a ton of projects in between.
This was like 2-3 years ago, right?
No, Rooster Teeth was actually like a year ago. So
was it really only a year ago?
Yeah,
wow.
It was crazy. So because I went not even a year ago. It was December. Well, yeah, December until April. March, April. Basically, whenever I moved back here and got this house.
Yeah.
So it was, and then I started working for Pepsi. So, yeah, so that was kind of like my biggest, like, this is a cool project that people probably know about, because I've worked on a ton of other, like, random small things, but, well, I say random small things, but bigger projects that people probably wouldn't know about because they're not mainstream or whatever.
Yeah.
But the most mainstream was, you know, I was doing post-production supervision and just general post-production on Genlock, which was the,
okay.
you know, one of the new shows that came out with like Michael B. Jordan and the dude from the freaking Doctor Who. God dang, what is
David
his name?
Tennant, Matt
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah,
David Tennant.
David
Okay.
Tennant. Yeah, so David Tennant, and also what is that little freaking girl that was in like Push? Now was like an adult, big old blue eyes, blonde haired.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, so she's in it, and then also Maisie Williams was in it too. So these all like voice actors and stuff. So. Yeah, so that was a really cool experience. Working there, I was there for, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, and I worked freelance with them previously, like remote. But then they're like, hey, you know, we want to bring you in house and see if we, you know, we're a good fit and that kind of stuff. And so I got to touch some Ruby stuff. I got to touch mostly Genlock season 1, which was pretty cool and like kind of a bucket list thing. And then they had the full-time opportunity, and then I was like, well, you know, I'm not really digging Austin, honestly. Like, all my family and friends and stuff are in Dallas. Like, there's not really a whole lot here for me besides the job.
Yeah.
And then also, like, the work hours and stuff were pretty...
A little strenuous.
Yeah, a little strenuous, which you can probably read about that on the internet right now. So, but yeah, so it wasn't a good fit for me personally. And at the same time, I had a call from a producer friend of mine, and she was like, hey, I got this company that was looking for, you know, like a visual effects supervisor or animation lead. You know, would you be interested? I can't really tell you the company, but it'd be salary. It's more on the corporate east side, but, you know, there's a lot of flexibility. It's a new thing. It's going to be really cool. I was like, okay, sure, call. So a guy calls me. He tells me about the job, doesn't tell me who it is, like what it's for. I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why don't they just tell me? And so we had a couple conversations, and finally, like on like I think the third one, he's like, "Okay, so I'm the the VP of marketing for PepsiCo Frito-Lay," and I was like, "Oh snap!" Like, that's a pretty big job. So, but the whole point of my job there is that he was hired as a new VP of marketing, and one of his big jobs were to create a new internal agency for the entire company, and our job is to save money rather than like make or spend money, and the way that we do that is that normally a company will need a new commercial or a new whatever, like social media piece or something, and they'll have maybe like a brand team that'll brainstorm the idea, but then they have to go to an external agency, get them to come up with a more fleshed out idea, and then actually do the the project. And then the company will post it or whatever. So that's a very, very expensive process, and also can take a long time depending on what the job is. You know, if it's something as simple as like, oh, we just need Instagram stuff, that could be 6 weeks, but if it's a Super Bowl commercial, that could take almost a year, depending on what it is. And so most companies think that it'll be better if they go to an external agency because, well, they're professionals, they know what they're doing. They're not so close to the project, so we'll have different ideas and that kind of stuff. So the VP of marketing is actually from an agency that they brought in and hired on. And he hired basically only agency people to be on our team. So
nice.
Everyone that has, like, my background isn't really like commercial agency. It's all studios. So I've done movies, film. Like Real Effects is a big one that a lot of people here locally know. I worked there for I think a year doing freelance. So studio background rather than I'm sitting at a desk at a corporate thing and doing whatever it is corporate people do. So because that's like what Pepsi is. Pepsi is very corporate. So and the reason why he was so like
secretive?
Secretive about it is because the hiring process is pretty intense. Like the most intense I've ever had to do in my life. It was crazy. But
it's like they just don't want to hire anyone that can like work on a computer. They want to make sure that you're going to be the right fit for whether it be creative, you work well with others, that kind of thing. So you might be extremely creative, but if you don't work well with others, then
oh yeah. Well, and it goes even farther than that though, because they want to make sure that you're a good person and that you have a good background, and that you're not like financially in the hole for a bajillion dollars, because the thing is like it's trade secrets too. So you know, if I'm working on a new brand or a new flavor or new whatever, and that leaks, you know, then the competitor can react to that, and that can make, you know, PepsiCo, you know, lose stock or do what, you know. So they want to make sure that they can trust you as a person, and that you're, you know, that you have good integrity, and that you're not gonna like sell out and that kind of stuff. And again, by the way, I think I'm supposed to say like these views are mine. They're not the
these views are solely of just of Shane, and are not in any way supported by PepsiCo. I think. That's right. Is that
something like that? I think we're good. I don't know. I've sent it by our legal team, but yeah, no, you're fine.
I'll send this to them. They can.
They
can do any edits they want. So.
Oh, please don't. Don't send it to them. They'll like. You'll have like, hi, my name is, and that's it.
That's it.
That's all you'll get. But no.
So any new flavor? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. Right? But yeah, so that they want to make sure that all that is squared away. So I think from when he first called me, like, so he actually called me for the first time like the week I started working at Rooster Teeth, and so it took almost six months.
Wow.
For the whole process, because they wanted my college transcript, they wanted my high school transcript, they wanted like everything, like stuff I don't even know how to get these records, like how the heck. So yeah, I had to call up schools and high schools and stuff and get them all transferred.
This is more intense than the government, I think.
It was, yeah, I mean it was, and actually I have actually done the background checks for military clearance too, and it's yeah, this was.
What was more intense, military clearance or PepsiCo clearance?
Pepsi, honestly, because like they don't care. Well, I mean they care about your criminal and stuff, obviously, but the military is more about like going through your criminal background and stuff like that. So they didn't care about my high school transcripts. Like that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
They just want to make sure that I don't have like a sealed, you know, murder file or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that was not as bad as Pepsi. So it takes a while. So if you ever apply to Pepsi or a more bigger company like that, like it's probably
it might take you 6 months, and it's gonna be intense.
Yeah, on average, I've heard 3 to 6 months is the hiring process.
Now, you're the second. No, you're the third person that I know that's worked at Pepsi.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like when I started working there, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I work there, but it's always like, oh, I'm a driver, or I'm a warehouse person, or I work in the cafeteria or something. Yeah. I don't know anybody else that worked like in.
I've known 2 other people that worked on the corporate side.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So one of them no longer works there. She started a women's shelter orphanage out in Uganda.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then the other friend, I don't know if she still works there. She might not. I know she has a kid now, so I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a while.
She might have done? Just like, cause there's so, that's the thing. Like there's like billing, and there's shipping and receiving, and then there's packaging, and then there's design teams. And
the one thing I can remember, she worked in the big main building that's over there on going towards the
well, and that's where I'm at too. So that's like where like majority of everyone is. So and actually there's a Frito-Lay building, and then like a block away is the Pepsi building. So I'm actually in the Frito-Lay building.
She was in the Frito-Lay building.
Yeah, the big 4-story thing with the lake. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what she did. They both worked in the same thing, but I can't remember what something.
We call it Frito Lake, by the way.
Isn't it shape of a Frito?
No, I wish. Yeah, but it's not even on Google Maps. It's something weird. But everyone's like, no, it's Frito Lake.
It's Frito Lake?
Yeah, okay. So, we did an away thing, and like it was, we did like Camp Frito Lake, but it was like the Jason versus Freddy like murder thing. It was for Halloween or whatever. So I was like, oh.
Did you survive?
I did.
There you go.
I was a murderer.
Hey.
Don't tell anybody. but yeah, so that was kind of the journey of that one. But and so what I do there is I'm the head of animation for visual effects, 3D animation, and basically I work with my art director and a creative director, and we report directly to the VP.
Nice.
And so brands will come to us because we have other people on our team as well. But the brands will come to us and say, hey, we have a commercial, or we have this idea or that idea, and it's up to the creative directors and
to flesh it out.
To flesh it out, and then we do it. And so we still bid on projects just like an external agency. It's right now, since we're so new, like the whole department's brand new. So we're kind of having to vet ourselves and say, hey, we're just as good as any external agency, and we're gonna do it for like 1/5 of the cost. Wow. And so that's really like they're pretty jazzed about that. So this was the first year that we've been active, and like we're already fully booked for next year. So
nice.
It's pretty crazy, like how
you've posted some of the stuff you worked on social media, and it's been out. It's out there.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So like. The ones that we like pitched on, and one I did like so Sun Chips started off as a small social media campaign, and then they loved the animation and design so much that they pitched it to across the nation basically. So it was on TV, you know, all the web stuff like Hulu, Netflix. Those are called over-the-top ads. Usually they're like bars or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so Sun Chips was a big one. Bear snack foods. The big one that I really enjoyed, where I got to flex a little bit more on the CG side, was the Terminator bag. I don't know if I've posted that one yet though. Like myself, I know I've like shared my story and stuff. But so Ruffles did for the first time a crossover with an actual media, you know, company, which was basically Terminator.
Yeah.
It's for Terminator Dark Fate. So I had a bag like melt and warp, then another bag came out on top of it basically because like the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
And so that was really cool, and that we got the flex on. And then yeah, I've done stuff for like Poppables, stuff for Cheetos, done all kinds of stuff. A lot of like stuff for LA Live, which is the LA Stadium or the LA.
Oh yeah, they're
the big thing where like you walk in, there's like screens everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've done quite a few of those for Ruffles, Lay's, Cheetos. Basically, you walk in and there's, you know, continuous stuff playing on all the screens. So it'd be like one video that's chopped up, or like an animation. Like we had one where Chester's passing a bag and he's passing it to himself on every screen, and that kind of stuff. It's a lot of different like activations and big things like that. So
you've been pretty busy with PepsiCo or Frito-Lay.
Yeah, so it's so weird because it's like all one thing. It's PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, but we haven't been able to sell on the Pepsi side just yet. So we're still like I want to do like a Gatorade commercial so bad because their budgets are huge and they do so much cool stuff. Like one of the commercials, it was probably a while ago, but they made a big conveyor belt and they had like different courts on the conveyor belts, and they had like pro athletes playing on it and stuff. And so yeah, just like huge, big. They're really good about like having big ideas. Oh, the Anna Kendrick spot.
The one with the hotels.
So she's with Hilton, but now we actually used her in a Christmas ad that aired on Thanksgiving. So it's a really cool one because she does the singing and stuff. So she's singing. Dang, what is this song? All the things I love. Marla said it's not a Christmas song, but I swear it is. But yeah, it's like the things that it was from The Sound of Music.
Okay, yeah. That's a Christmas movie. That's a Christmas.
But yeah, she's like
it's a Christmas movie.
But yeah, so it's like her, and she's like in a Lay's yellow dress, and she has like it's a Christmas thing. So
yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah, so it aired it all over the place. So that one was like a collaboration where we did the ideation and all the pre and post stuff. The actual shooting took place in LA on a stage and all that fun stuff. Can't go into too many details. I don't think. But anyways, so that one was like a collaboration. So we still do work with outside agencies to bring bigger things to life because we're still working on expanding our own team. So we kind of have to like turn away work at this point. And so we're building a whole studio at our office, like sound booth, green screen stages, video, photography. Like so, it's almost done. Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle. I got my own office. It's pretty sweet. Right now it's blank walls, but hopefully it should be back or done by the time I get back off of vacation. So I've been told, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna tell you guys that because I'm gonna be doing tours, like we're gonna do stuff for the school and things like that. So that's another thing, actually. Collin College, where I originally went to school, they asked me to be on the like an advisory committee to overlook the animation and game art design courses and stuff. They have to get like validation from like professionals. I don't know why I just quoted myself. Like professional. I don't feel like a professional sometimes.
I mean, you're professional, but at the same time, it's like, it's professional, yes, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is fun for me. This is
100%.
It's a job, but it's not really a job either.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where like I finally like found a niche that I'm really good at and I enjoy, and I'm starting to flourish with it because I've never actually stayed at a place more than a year and a half, and so I'm already almost at it. Well, no.
You're coming up. You're 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, at least 6 months.
So you got a year to go before you move on to. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? Actually, I might be at like 8. I think I started in March because I had some overlap.
Okay.
So because I was still doing freelance, and I moved back. Yeah. So there was some overlap. So I think I might be at 8 or 9 months so far.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then so aside from that, I also have Roxy Studios.
Yeah, which is gonna be next because you said something that you find really good at is. Because I actually didn't know you as a photographer really until I saw you started shooting at the cons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the one thing about going to cons and stuff is like, there's a lot. So I've talked about it before in the show. There's people there are people that are photographers, and then there's people that take pictures. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between the two. And back when I was in high school, from like 2006 to about 2012, my job was a professional photographer. We would do weddings, portraits, sports. I did animals. I did, you name it, I've shot it. Baseball, softball, football, safari down at yeah, safari down at
We did safari. That's cool.
well, kind of. It was down at Glen Rose, the Fossil Rim.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're in a car, but you're not. I mean,
yeah,
you're not
like feeding the giraffes and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
But they're all like running around loose. So
Yeah.
you know, camera and I was like, I count it as safari. So.
No, sure, why not?
So I mean, I've learned a lot, and then kind of seeing all that, and then going to cons and seeing people take pictures, there's pictures and there's photographs. Yeah. You take photographs.
Well, thank you.
But you know, I saw a lot of people kind of, you know, with the cameras and stuff, and when I started going to cons, I would go through people's pages like, all right, I'm gonna follow this one, I'm gonna not follow that one, follow this one, and then you started shooting Roxy Studios, and I'm like, Shane's got a pretty good eye. you really do have honestly a really good eye. And the way you've kind of done the things with your booths and all that, you know, it's eye catching. Well, you always, every time I see it, I'm like, I wonder what Shane shot this. I'm like, I like that. Like it's pretty close to perfect.
Oh, nice.
So, and I'm not just like blowing smoke up your ass and like that. Honestly, like I enjoyed seeing your work, what you do with Roxy Studios.
Thanks, man.
So, so with that, I was like, how did that come about? How did you decide, hey, I'm gonna pick up a camera, I'm gonna start shooting?
Yeah, totally. I mean, well, I'm glad you said close to perfection, because that's kind of what I aim for, and that kind of bites me in the ass sometimes too, because I will spend sometimes way too long on a photo.
Been there.
You know, it's like, man, just tweaking, and you know, it's funny. But no, that's good, because honestly, like, even on I'm working on my website right now, and then like the main headline is like, you know, art or photographs that will make you stop scrolling. You know, that's what I want. I want you to stop and say, oh wow, that's cool. And obviously it took more than 2 seconds, and obviously the guy or person or whatever, you know, put thought into that. And that's what I really love about art and 3D stuff, is like I see something in my head and I can make it come to life. You know, whether it's, you know, animation or visual effects or, you know, photography, that's like, it gives me a rush like no other, like being able to be like just creating. And so even with like the booths, you know, I want to make a booth. It has nothing to do with photography or art really. It's more functionality, but like seeing it, like knowing what I want it to do, and then being able to make it do what I want it to do, is a really cool process, and it's very rewarding. And with that, and with photography and stuff in general, I started doing it because I had like, oh, it's gonna sound cheap, like I had like emptiness. I was, you know, I didn't have any fulfillment, and you know, even I think it mostly started after Epic, because there was just this big hole of where I felt like I didn't accomplish anything, and it was a failure because I had to close it, and you know, it was a really tough transitional time, you know, especially with losing the business and then going through divorce, and you know, I wasn't happy, and I wasn't creatively happy, even though I was still doing animation at that time. Like, and it's funny because that you mentioned about the photography thing. It's like no one really knew that I did animation or motion graphics or visual effects or any of that stuff. Even with Epic, they're like, "Oh, you're the game guy." Or, you know, you're at a gaming lounge.
To be honest, I actually really didn't know that either until I think you went off to Rooster Teeth last year. Yeah, because you know, when we saw each other, it was usually you were shooting.
Yeah, 100%.
Or it was a gaming lounge.
Yeah, and then so like recently, everyone's like, "Oh, Rock Studios, like photography, cool." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's just my hobby. Like, what I do for a living is actually a lot more prestigious, you know." I don't know why I keep quoting myself. It's so weird. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like an asshole. Imposter syndrome is a huge thing, especially with most artists. But like, you know, kind of like the whole fake it till you make it, or I don't really feel like what I'm doing is that grandiose or that really cool, until sometimes like I actually surprise myself. I'm like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool. Yeah. You know? So yeah, that sense of fulfillment I was missing, and so I want to say, when was the last year Akon was at the Anatole?
2015, 2016?
It's 2016. Yeah, that sounds about
2015. That's the one off 35, right?
Yeah, downtown.
2015 was the one time I went, so 2016 I want to say.
Yeah, because then it was 17 was in Fort Worth, 18 was at Fort Worth again.
Yes, and then this year was at the fair.
Yeah.
fair park.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So that's yeah. Hey, but it's going back to Dallas though, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be at the downtown convention center. So that'll be nice. Okay, so that means that 3 years ago, 2016 is when I started photography. Then, basically, I was working at an architecture firm called Corgan, Corgan Media Lab. And so, that was a cool project I got to work on. So, like LAX Airport, the remodel of DFW Airport, and the Toyota headquarters. Actually, I worked on all of those, plus a bajillion other ones. And by work on those, I mean I took the architectural drawings and I did the 3D renderings.
Nice.
For the the big things that they put up and say coming soon. That kind of stuff. Also, all the video fly-throughs and things like that. So, which ironically, I now work across the street from that because Toyota is across from Frito-Lay. So
it's kind of weird knowing that I've seen all these things.
Yeah.
And knowing that you had a hand in them, and now in my mind right now, I'm just like.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Honestly, like even the Toyota headquarters was like, man, I know every nook and cranny of this building, and not realizing that it was going to be across. Like I can see it through my window. I'm like, holy crap! Like that was pretty cool though. That's like long game. Though.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, that was 4 years ago. I was at Corgan, I guess, and so that was on the tail end of Toyota, and so they opened Toyota 2 years ago, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, that was a pretty long game. Like I forgot about it until I started working there again. I was like, holy crap!
It's like I helped design that building.
Yeah,
like
100%.
that's
it was pretty cool. Yeah,
kind of like my child in a way.
So and actually, I mean, I don't work for Toyota, so I don't care. But so one of the buildings was supposed to be for Scion, and so it's actually 4 different buildings stacked in a row like dominoes. You can't tell that from the road, which is pretty cool. But each one is for one of the main, like there's Lexus, there was Scion, there was normal Toyota, and then one other one or whatever. So Scion is no longer a brand anymore. So I found out this post after the fact.
Yeah.
They actually had to strip it, and like now it's something else. I don't know whatever it is, but because they scrub Scion, there's no like XBs or whatever.
Yeah.
So
no more box cars.
Yeah, no more box cars. So it's like cool, like knowing all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I know all this stuff. State Farm, that big one.
Yeah.
Worked on that one too.
So Sergio, who you know,
Mm-hmm.
his girlfriend works in that building.
Yeah. So I worked on that building. So. And
I used to, when I lived in Plano, when I had to go to work, I would take Bush to get on 75, and I would pass as they were. And I mean, I still pass it now because now I live in Garland, but now I work in the Colony. Yeah. And I have to drive by that every day.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's massive. Yeah. So it's cool, like being able to see that stuff. But again, that's a long game. Like, so that was just like, oh, I'm like tinkering with these massive buildings, and then like years later you see it. So one of the cool ones was I worked on this gigantic airport in China. I think it's like the largest.
Oh wow!
Airport
Is that the one that has like the garden inside?
I think so. It's like this giant alien-looking X thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Zhijiao something or another. I don't. Sorry guys again. But it's like XIA, XIO, I don't know, something like that. But it's a crazy name.
Yeah.
Massive building, super cool. Got to work on that. Yeah, man, that was cool. So Corgan was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the people there. That was kind of a corporate-y job, similar to like what I'm doing now. Whereas there was a main corporate building, and then they had the media lab was like their own little like oasis, I guess, of nerds basically. Because like all the architects and stuff had to wear like suits and other crazy stuff, and so we're in the back like in our beanies and like our little things going crazy. Like my
hopped up on coffee on Monster.
Oh man, I had to like wear sleeves if I met with CEOs and stuff. Like it was.
Oh my god,
I have tattoos. Oh, Roxas by the way. Yeah, well, you can see that. But yeah, so I remember my first day on like the training thing there. Like the guy that was running the thing was like, so when'd you get out of prison? I'm like, what? Oh, tattoos? Really? Okay, thanks, guy. As he's in like his 3-piece suit, suit and tie. I'm like, well, okay.
$5,000 suit with $2,000 shoes.
Yeah,
$1,000 belt.
But yeah, so the cool thing about that was I was working with all the nerds, so they didn't care about anything. But the work though for me wasn't fulfilling, and it was getting kind of boring and repetitive because it's buildings or buildings or buildings. So like you can't. I mean, they're all cool and they're all kind of unique, but you're still doing the same things, especially with motion graphics and stuff. It's always like arrows pointing to this is an exit, this is that. I'm like
stairs, entrance, exit, bathroom.
Exactly. So it kind of got boring. So after that, I went to I was a VFX supervisor at White Unicorn Agency, which was a boutique agency in downtown Dallas, across the street from where Marla actually used to live. Ironically, that's a whole other story. But yeah. So do I need to get you a plug?
Nah, it should be all right.
I'll hurry this up. Sorry, I'm talking so much.
Nah, keep going, man. We'll go until my phone dies.
Until it dies.
So I'm at 20% at 35 minutes. So
all right, cool.
I started at 37, so.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So we got time.
We got some time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, but back to photography. So when I was at Corgan, I was doing a lot of camera fly-throughs and photorealistic renderings of buildings and things like that. And so I knew a lot about 3D cameras, like inside of the software I was using. And so to make things more realistic, I wanted to learn about actual cameras because there's certain limitations that cameras can do.
Yeah.
Where in a 3D platform like it does, I can make an infinite zoom lens if I want, or whatever. I can make my ISO 8 million or 1. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I didn't really know about functionally what an actual camera can do, and honestly, a lot of things to make something look photoreal are the imperfections and things that only real cameras can actually do, and that's why there's a whole choice of shooting on film versus digital versus what kind of camera and all the kinds of different stuff. But yeah, so I was talking to my director of photography. Her name is Alex Britt. She's an awesome person, and I credit her 100%. She'll be like, no, don't. Yeah. But no, I credit her.
Alex Britt, 100%.
100%. She's the reason why I do photography now and why I'm good at it. So she'll be like, no, I just showed you a camera. I'll let you borrow it. I'm like, whatever. So, but what we did was, I went to her and I was like, hey, if we have some spare time, I want to learn a little bit more about cameras. Can you kind of give me a rundown, can we just a 30-minute thing? And she was like, no, let's just go somewhere and let's shoot some photos.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So we're looking
That's
around.
honestly the best way to learn. It's just to pick up a camera and go.
And I am a hands-on 100%, and I hate doing tutorials and things like that. I mean, I'll do it if I get stuck.
Yeah.
But
I'm the same way.
So I was so glad that she said that, and also, I mean, we've been best friends since then. So I was like, okay, well, what would be good to shoot? And she's like, I don't know, what are you into? I'm like, nerd stuff, whatever. So, but then we found out that ACON was happening that coming weekend or whatever. So I was like, well, there's a convention that I want to go to because I've gone to conventions on and off for a long time just as a consumer, just because I'm a nerd. I didn't really even know what cosplay was at that point. I knew people dressed up, but I didn't know it was a thing.
So this was 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
So not even that long ago, honestly, when I look back on it. But yeah, so we went together to ACON, and she let me borrow her Sony. Another reason why I shoot Sony now, honestly. And so we just spent the entire day just shooting and going over all the different, settings and f-stop and aperture and ISO and all the different things that you kind of have to do. And so once I kind of nailed the actual practicality of the camera, I already had a good eye for composition. I've already done, renderings and art and stuff forever. So kind of, I won't say it came easily, but it came naturally to me. And then, I posted some of the photos on the ACON page, and people were like, "Oh, these are really good. Where can I see more of your work?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't."
That's all I got.
That's all I got. So.
So I just love that, especially when I started shooting, because I started shooting when I got I say a real camera, because I had this Canon Rebel that we had at school that was 10 years old at that point.
Already.
So it was super old, but then when I started working, I met this guy named Eric Gilmore, started shooting with him. He's like, here, shoot with this. And he handed me a Canon Mark II, I think at the time. Mark III might have been. And man, just being able to actually capture things without it being completely crap.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is really good. And then we would go, and sometimes we would print on site. We would shoot it, and we would go straight to the computer, quick light fix maybe, and then print it and sell it right there.
Nice.
And one time we did the AAU Junior Olympics up in, we did it twice. We did it once in Detroit, or Ypsilanti, but no one knows where that is, so Detroit. Yeah. And the second time we did was Des Moines, Iowa. It was track and field, so we're out there at 8 in the morning to about 5 in the afternoon. And we'll just shoot track and field, running, jumping, discus, javelin, cheerleading, basketball, all of it. Whatever they had going on, we would shoot. And as soon as we were done, we would shoot an event, hand off our memory cards to a runner. They will take it to the booth. They will do a quick fix, light real quick, whatever, and then we'll sell it. We had 7 photographers. It was Eric, my boss, he was number 1 in sales. I was number 2. Nice. And then everyone else was kind of whatever. But him and I, that were brought in from the outside to this company called Brentwood Digital. Okay. We outshot all their photographers. Nice. So it's you just when you pick up a camera and you kind of figure it all out, you just have that eye. Yeah. You just have that It just kind of comes to you. So
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from when you said when you picked it up and you kind of figured it along like, oh, I got
It
this.
just kind of all fell into place.
Yeah.
You know? And the cool thing is, so like the architecture was long game, photography was short game. Like you get that instant like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, people like this. Oh, this is nice. And then it plays well with social media when you're like getting all the likes and people are commenting and they're like, oh, it's amazing. I'm like, oh, I feel so satisfied. You know, so that's kind of where that happened and came from. And
So the quick fix just
yeah, oh, dude, I got obsessed. I got addicted to it. I'm not gonna lie. So like the first year, I think I shot so much, all for free. I didn't charge for the entire first year that I did photography, and you know, I felt like that was justifiable. Like I wanted to make sure that I knew that I was good enough and felt comfortable charging somebody.
getting your feet wet.
Yeah, exactly. You know, people are like, no, you should be charging. You're great. I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't feel like I'm good enough yet. Like once I get to that level, then I'll feel more comfortable charging, and then also the whole like charging, it makes it not a hobby and it makes it not as fun and
It becomes a job.
It becomes a job, you know. And now, so I didn't charge the first year, and then I started charging after that. And I think Acon 2 years ago, I did 27 shoots across the weekend. It was a lot. And then after that, I kind of, well, I guess the year after that, I kind of realized like, okay, I'm gonna burn myself out. I need to not do this so much.
And you just go back a little bit.
Yeah. So then I've been cutting back and cutting back and cutting back up until like this year, where like I do maybe like one shoot a month, one every 2 months maybe.
Yeah.
Just because I like focusing now more on as you saw in my studio, I'm working on like the set design, the concept, what are we actually doing, what's the story, what's that kind of stuff. You know, if I do a convention, I'll definitely still shoot there depending on what their need is and what the ask is, and
yeah.
if I'm a guest or not and that kind of stuff. But like I want to do something more than just a regular backdrop, point and click, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like anybody can, sorry, not anybody, but most photographers that do that kind of photography, that's all they do. It's just a tripod, they click it, you're next.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, you know, and I don't want to knock that because that's a good way to make money, and you know, it's.
But that's not you.
Yeah, it's not me. And I'm not.
You want to go a little bit more. You want to add more to it, like you said. You want to add a story to it.
And I want it to be an experience too. Like if someone wants to give me money for my photos, I want to make sure it's a photo that they actually care about.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, look, I was at this event, and then it's forgotten. You know. And so that's kind of like with Fan Expo Dallas this year. When they asked me to be a part of the show, I was like, well, cool. Can I have like, what's my limitations? They're like, do whatever you want. I was like, sweet. So I spent like 3 months, I want to say, concepting this LED booth, and I'll have to send you some photos and stuff. It's pretty cool. Like, there's one that was floating around of like Reinhardt and stuff like that of Frostbite cosplay. People really love that stuff. But yeah, so it was a big, I think like 8x8 booth with LEDs everywhere, and it was just, you would not know that it was in the middle of a convention, you know, going like that's what I wanted to go for. And so, but because of that, you know, I kind of got obsessed with it, and then I kind of like started caring too much about the likes and too much about the social media and too much about, you know,
it's addicting.
It does, you know, and then you have to realize, okay, this does not define me. This does not give me validation. This
is not me.
Yeah, this is not me. So, you know, and I feel like a lot of cosplayers get lost in that too. Like, you know, they're like, oh, I need to do it. I want to be cos famous, and I need to have 1 million likes, and I have to have 1 million followers. I'm like, but none of that means anything.
Yeah.
You know, really, if you can't convert it to money or to something tangible, those likes aren't going to do you any good.
Yeah.
You know, and so for me, that's kind of the mantra I've been kind of going on, and same thing with Marla, is that, you know, if it's not meaningful to somebody, you know, I don't care if I have, you know, 10,000 likes or 100 likes or whatever. If it's not doing anything for anybody, if it's not doing anything for me, then there's no point. So, you know, that's if I'm going to make a photo, I want it, someone is going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to cherish it just as much as I do. You know, and so I'm trying not to make it into a sale thing, but you know, I do need to fund my hobby as well.
Yeah.
You know, because I've spent
I get
a ton
that.
of money. You know, and honestly, and I think I've still haven't even made enough to cover all of the costs of all the stuff I bought so far. Just because I mean, camera stuff is expensive.
Yeah, that it is. I remember one time we were shooting I wasn't shooting this photographer we were partnering with. We were shooting a soccer tournament, or they were. I was doing something else that weekend, and she bought like a $1,000 printer.
Yeah.
And she didn't make enough during that tournament to cover for it, and we're like, well, yeah, you don't buy a printer and hope to pay it off in one shoot. Yeah. It's a long-term thing. Exactly. Like you have to, you know, it's gonna take you 5 shoots to pay this off, you know, and it's kind of cool. I'm like, it's like I've had some people go like, I want to buy this. I'm like, all right, cool. But for why?
Yeah, what's
like,
yeah.
like.
And so, and for me with the camera stuff, it was more for my own fulfillment, and like I wanted to be paid back, but it was one of those things where like it'd be great if it does, but I really don't care if it does because it's for me anyways. But there's also a big gap in like cosplay photography, like cost versus like actual fashion and glamour and car, and I mean it's the money difference is mind blowing. Like and I've done commercial shoots for Jack Black and like a lot of other bigger like brands, and it's like I did a thing for Lexus and put like their car on the moon. But the thing is about like licensing and rights and stuff like that. I don't even touch that stuff with cosplay. I'm like it's just included. Just here you go.
Yeah.
Because like if I was going to charge what people should be charging. Yeah. There's no point. Like there's no one's gonna ever book me.
No one's gonna be able to afford it. Yeah.
And so that's even if I was the worst photographer ever, if I was charging commercial fees, like no one in cosplay could pay for that. And it kind of sucks because I don't think cosplayers really understand that. And so that's why I kind of...
But you'll get exposure. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, my rent is 1,000 exposures. Can you...
Yeah.
You know, like, so... but no, and that's the thing. Like, you kind of have to realize that if you're going to do this type of photography, you have to do it because you love it, not because you want to make money off of it. And that's kind of... Even with cosplayers, I tell them that, like, starting off, like, eventually, yeah, you can make money off of it, but you can't go into it and be like, I'm going to make $1 million off of this, because you won't. You're going to be focused on, why am I not making money? Why do I not have enough followers? Why do people not like me? That kind of crap. But, if you do it because you enjoy it, you have fun, and hopefully people will start noticing it, and they'll feed off that energy, and then, then the likes and the followers and all the other crap will come pouring in. But again, if you can't capitalize on it, if you don't have a website, if you have no social media, if you have nothing else, then those likes don't mean anything.
Don't think, no, I actually...
They make you feel good, but...
feeling good only takes you so far.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I actually unfollowed a couple of people just because, like, on their cosplay pages, because I'm like, you're complaining every other month about not getting enough likes, not about this. I'm like, you're not doing it for the right reason. You're doing it because it's fun. You're doing it because of this or that or whatever, not to be famous. Like, I was like, why is this person famous and not me? And I'm like, because they're not bitching about it, for one. Two, they're having fun with it.
And that's the thing, too. Like, even if you are frustrated with that kind of stuff, if you're going to do it as a business and be professional about it, you don't see, major corporations saying, oh, my stocks dropped 5% today. Like, why buy my stuff? Like, it doesn't work that way, because you're going to push people away. Proven. I mean, 100% me, like, I'm not going to follow you if that's all you're doing. But I think they're also kind of, on the flip side, hoping for those sympathetic points. Like, oh, let me like her photo because she's struggling today. Or, but that's not good. But also there's a difference if you look at all the professional cosplayers, what they post. It's always positive. It's always about what their future plans are. Even if they don't have content, they're like, here's a cute selfie. Gonna have stuff next week. Whatever. So there's ways to do it about it in a business and professional manner instead of like, no one likes me. And that pushes people away. And honestly, I haven't even posted in like a month and a half. I've been really bad about it. But also because I'm trying not to feel the need to post to get that little, because also like with Instagram and stuff, that's another thing. Like you can't control who sees your stuff all the time. Like, I've had
those damn algorithms.
Algorithms that people talk about. And it's funny too. Like I see that complaint about the most, but like you can't control it, and also you don't own Instagram. It's not your platform. So if you don't like it, you got to do something about it. And that means find a different platform, do something different.
Create your own platform.
Yeah, exactly. Figure out why people aren't seeing you. I mean, so there's ways to be productive about it. And for me, like, I know that, if your posts aren't doing well, then it's probably on you. It's, and that's, people don't like accountability. And that, for me, is a huge thing. Like, I need to be accountable for my shoots and my creative vision and what kind of shoots I want to do, what kind of content do I want to put out. That's, like, also why I don't have a lot of, like, super adult-related stuff. I've shot a ton of super adult-related stuff. I've shot Suicide Girls, Cosplay Deviants, I've done all kinds of stuff. But you don't see it on my Instagram because I don't want that kind of following. I don't want just dudes commenting, like, nice ass, nice tits, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not me. I do it, I shoot that stuff because people ask me to, and they pay me. And also, that's a different type of creative fulfillment, because women are beautiful, and they're feel free to expose their bodies how they choose. And so if one thinks that my work is good enough and trusts me to do that with them, then I usually do it.
I've done a couple of those shoots, and usually I say, hey, like, all right, here's, like, do you have a laptop? Do you have anything? Like, cool. And I've only done like 3 or 4 of these, but I said, hey, if you have a laptop or you have this, bring it over, and cool. Another way, cool. I shoot it and then I upload the images straight to the computer. I'm like, here, they're yours. I wipe the memory card.
Yeah.
I don't got any copies. Like, they're all yours. This is in case I get hacked. This is in case something happens.
Yeah.
They get out there.
Yeah, but that's accountability.
So,
like, you want to make sure that that's off your plate, you know, and that's totally fair and a good way to do that as well. And so for me, it's like, I still, you know, through the whole process, I still edit them. Like, I really do not like giving unedited photos to anybody, even Marlo. Like, it drives me nuts. Just because I like seeing a project from start to finish, and if it's not finished, then the accountability kind of kicks in. I'm like, crap, it's not done.
Yeah.
And so, even like this week that I have off, like my backlog is like one of my main priorities, because that little itch is like, hey, you got all these photos you need to do, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. But so that's why I started charging, though, was for that accountability, though, because if I didn't charge, people wouldn't take me seriously. And so like I noticed that if I didn't charge or ask for a deposit, like people would flake a lot more, or they just would, it would not a good thing. You know, it's just like any business, any contract, you know, put your money where your mouth is. You know? So that way, if you really want good photos, you can come to me and I will give you really good photos. But also with that puts accountability on me, whereas this is now a job.
Yeah.
You know, money was, you know, exchanged. So they have obligation, I have obligation, and there you go. Otherwise, like, my backlog is basically all the free shoots I've done. You know, and typically with free shoots, I try and get, you know, 1 to 5 photos quickly, and then over time I'll give them, you know, 10 to 15 more or whatever. But, you know, that pressure's not there. You know, of course, the people want their photos, so I feel bad because I don't want it to be like a year later.
Yeah. So, hey, where are my photos, Shane? Where are my photos?
You know,
like, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's happened, especially after conventions. Like, it's funny. Sometimes I've had to, like, mute my stuff and, like, uninstall Messenger and stuff, because after conventions, like, the next day, people are like, you have photos for me? I'm like, I got a full-time job and a kid, and it's like, I got other things.
I got life. I got a life.
Yeah,
like,
so,
everything's not always about photos. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I get that from the, but at the same time, it's like cosplayers like, hey, like, it's literally the next day.
Yeah.
Like, they probably went home. They probably went to sleep. They probably went to eat. They probably went to work. Like,
well, because there are a lot of cosplayer, or a lot of, like, camera people, photographers, what the hell you want to call them, guy with a camera, you know, that kind of stuff. We're like, or they're full-time photographers, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they go to a convention, and the next day, they edit, because that's their job,
you
know? And that's totally fair, but, like, that's not my job. I have a day job. And that's why I've been trying to be more vocal about that, because, like, even you didn't even know, like, what I did technically for a living until recently. You know, and so a lot of people are just like, oh, yeah, you're a photographer. I'm like, no, I'm not. This is my hobby. I enjoy it, and I'm good at it, supposedly. You know, so people keep asking me to show up.
You are good at it, trust me.
I got my Canada shirt. I was a guest at Canada this year. That was fun. International. What?
Now you're famous in 2 countries.
That's right. America and North America. Canada's... I love Canada so much. It's just like Texas, but
where about in Canada were you? Were you?
We were in Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
Yeah, so it was just basically like being in New York, except with nicer people. You know that.
Wait, where is Toronto? Is that
literally above
New York? Okay.
Yeah, the area.
I've been to Vancouver on the other side.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, it looked just like Dallas, honestly. But it was cool. I really enjoyed it. That's the second time I've gone, actually.
Okay,
so,
cool.
First time as a guest.
First time. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I went a couple years ago, just to go for funsies, because it was just
to Canada or to Fan Expo over there?
Well, so I went to Canada for a whole other thing, and then I went to Fan Expo for like a day, not even.
Yeah.
Just because I happened to be in the same area and it happened to be going on. And I think that was even before I was doing like bigger convention photography type stuff. And so, but yeah, but again, because of that, you know, that kind of stuff, like people notice that you're good, and then they'll ask you to be, you know, a guest, and that kind of stuff. So I never expected to be a guest. I never really even wanted to be a guest necessarily, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. So, yeah, it's a lot more work than people like give credit for. They just see all the glitz and glamour and like, oh, they get, you know, private room and a booth and like that. It's a ton of freaking work. Like that LED booth, like took like 3 hours.
Did you have to ship that up to Canada?
Oh, I didn't take that to Canada.
Okay.
No, hell no. I told them no. Like that was just, it was gonna be too expensive and too much. So that one was actually great because they didn't really expect me to do a booth. So I had a booth, but I just had someone sit at it, and like I had my, you know, prints out, and I actually just roamed and did photos that way. So that was cool. And I do panels on like VFX and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, there was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So now with you're working with Frito-Lay / PepsiCo Frito-Lay, and then also with Roxas Studios and all that. What do you want to do? I guess like long term. Do you want to stay?
Ooh,
like
man.
what like, where do you see
you when I grow up?
I'm a real boy. So like we'll say Roxy Studio. Like, where do you want to take that? Like, say a year from now. Where do you want to just kind of keep doing what you're doing now with shoots once a month?
So what I want to do is, and what I'm kind of aiming for is like upping my production value. And by that, like most of my work right now has been in post-production, all the compositing, adding all the crazy effects and things like that, which is fun. And I love that. And I'm really good at it because that's what I do for a living. And that's kind of why that went hand in hand. But what I want to up is the actual production value. So instead of it just being, you know, at a convention or on a backdrop or whatever, I actually want it to be on a location or on a full-blown set, you know, doing more video work, incorporating more visual effects to live action kind of stuff. And live action is one of the things I've been doing for a long time, but to do it with the cosplay stuff, it's a lot of work. So, and it's a lot of work expected of myself and other people. And
yeah.
So that's the thing is, I'm not very good at trusting other people, especially to hold up their end of deals.
It's fair. Yeah.
You know, I mean, especially with like Epic and stuff. Like I learned, you know, a lot of things about like even working with family and stuff. Yeah. So it's tough. You know, and also like it's hard to expect someone to do stuff for free. You know, even though I'm doing it for free. So finding collaborative partners to do stuff with is difficult. And then so, but that's what I want to do. More long term, and so like I've done more like I'm working on like a film festival films and stuff like that. More stuff that I can put my name on exclusively.
Just try to enter one of those 48-hour races.
Oh, we did. So well, I say we. I was on a team of people that did for the Alamo one actually.
Okay.
But it ended up being a week long, the horror one.
Oh yeah.
Christmas horror thing. So I was on a team for one of those. So that was cool. Like that's the kind of stuff I enjoy. I enjoy being on set. I always have. From my work, like just sets for commercials or for any other number of things, but also just it being more than just a cool photo on a white backdrop or whatever, you know. So also launching the website, doing more tutorials behind the scenes. A lot of people have really enjoyed my classes and stuff, and so kind of taking that more like to an online thing so people can see like how do I do this kind of stuff. You know, that I enjoy teaching actually. I've like learned that over the past year or two. So at the conventions I've been at, like doing the panels and watching the panel sizes grow and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. And having people with like voracious appetites that want to learn because they want to make cool stuff but they don't know how. That's a really cool like niche that I like filling lately too, because it's rewarding in a different way. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not like I've noticed a lot of photographers that are like, they don't want to talk about their techniques or their practices or
their secrets. Like,
yeah,
oh, come on.
You know, and I get it if that's their bread and butter and that's how they make their money day to day. But for someone that doesn't rely on photography for their main income, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
I want people like ask me questions. I'll tell you. Like message me. And so I get lots of questions daily actually about just random stuff, and it's cool because I like telling it, and they're like, oh, thanks, to save me hours of googling or whatever. You know, because that's the thing, you can find all this information out live, but it's if you know somebody that's already done it, it's going to save you a ton more time.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, with like Google, you can find like how to do something like 10 different ways. But it's like, you know, if I know
best practices,
this person they've been successful doing it this way, then how do you do it this way? Then cool, this is what I do. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it this way then.
Exactly. So, and that's what I've been enjoying the most about like, you know, conventions and guesting and stuff like that. So, kind of, I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Cool, man. Well, you got any social media you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. On Instagram, Facebook, I'm all Roxas Studios, Roxas_Studios, and it's ROXAS. Yes, I am a Kingdom Hearts fan, if you don't know what that is. So,
I mean, you've got the tattoo, right?
Yeah, I know. I have the whole thing. It's not done yet, but yeah, Carnage and Venom, all the fun stuff. I know right there. Roxas. Well, it's upside down.
So there you Roxas. Go. Well, I'll take a picture. I'll put it on the thing.
He's nobody. Don't worry.
Oh, quick question. Did you enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3? Did you play it?
Yeah, no, I played it and beat it and everything. I enjoyed it. I don't know if we're doing non-spoiler here or.
It's been how long?
Yeah.
When did it come out? Like June?
It's been a year at least.
No,
I lived in Austin. It was January.
January?
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
It's been almost a year. You've had a year to play, so spoilers.
No, so I'll still try and keep it nice. No, I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed the gameplay. I felt like it was lacking in some areas.
Okay.
You know, I love certain worlds. Like I guess all certain stuff is public. So like I love the Toy Story world. I loved Monsters Inc. world. Frozen was a little. I feel like they just pulled it straight from the movie. Like I could just watch the movie, you know, and would have been fine with that. You know, the ending, the final boss battles and stuff like that. You know, I love the story arc. It was good, but I wasn't fulfilled.
You weren't completely satisfied?
I was not completely satisfied.
You'll never be satisfied.
Never. You know, but I feel like that's just my nature in general. So. What?
Oh, okay.
It was a Hamilton quote.
Oh, I know. Sorry.
I don't know if y'all can. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but Marla's in the background over here.
She's the Hamilton in Star Wars aficionado over here. Like those.
She's wearing pork pants. They're awesome.
Yep. That's my weak point over there. But yeah, so all of like the gaming related stuff. I got you on gaming, and she's pretty good at comics too.
She's got a whole comic wall over here.
Hey, some of those are mine actually. Thank you.
2 are yours, and you bought them at Canada.
Hey, that's besides the point. Okay.
So apparently 2 of the comics over here are Shane's, and he bought them in Canada. So the rest
well,
are.
because I got them signed by the artist.
Nice.
And it's the
Do you know who the artist is?
Jamie Tinsdale. Tyndall.
Jamie
Tyndall.
Tyndale.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ashley
Jamie
Tisdale.
Tyndall.
Not Ashley Tisdale.
He's the one who makes all of the Brandon Gilberto suits.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
all of the
Yeah, so you can see that it's White Widow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
We'll do a little thing. We'll show y'all.
Yeah, I got so much nerd crap in here, it's not even funny. But yeah, so yeah, but I'm never satisfied honestly with a lot of things. So a little plug. I grew up in foster care, so
Okay.
you know, so I grew up like not having anything at all. So I think that's part of my constant need to find perfection and self-fulfillment and all that fun stuff. Just looking a little deep and psychological on you there. But yeah, so I think that's why I always want more. I'm always wanting to grow because I grew up with like literally nothing. So yeah,
You're doing great, man.
Yeah,
you really are.
I appreciate it. Like it's weird to actually think about it, but like the other day I was all like emo. I was like, I haven't done crap in my life, and I'm like, wait, no, yeah, I have. I've done a lot of stuff.
You have lived more than a lot of people have that I know. So
yeah, I mean, I will say that
you've done great.
I appreciate it, man. I strive to do as much as I can in a little amount of time that I have on this world, sadly. But that sounded really sad. Jesus.
He really does sound like Lynn. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're running out of time. You're never satisfied. You are quoting Lynn, quoting Hamilton.
Oh, nice.
So you really need to get into it because you.
And guess what? He got shot. So just be happy.
So he really didn't have that much time. So he knew.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Kinda.
We have no time. Why do we have to sleep? Sleeping is so lame. Like, 'cause I want to play more video games. Honestly, like that's the one thing I don't like. So owning Epic and running that store was the least amount of time I've ever played video games. When surrounded by 20 computers and 90 consoles.
Wow.
Yeah, at our peak, like that. Yeah. So, but I got to watch.
You get to watch a lot of things.
So, but now now I'm enjoying more time playing the video games. Same thing like so with work and then Roxy Studios. I've kind of like hit the brakes on a lot of that stuff so I could actually like enjoy some me time. Like,
yeah.
I finally. Well, I beat Shield, but I'm working on the Pokedex now.
Okay.
You know, like playing video games, spending more time with my son when I have him. You know, doing more, you know, extracurriculars that are actually like not related to my main 2 things, which is Roxy Studios and my job. So, which I think is important. You know, 'cause you get obsessed, and you know.
You gotta be able to decompress, be able to like kind of fill your cup and all that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Video games.
That's why my casa or our casa looks like this, because I want to be surrounded by all the things that I love. You know?
I just noticed you have a Blockbuster gumball machine.
I do.
That is awesome.
That's from Epic, actually. Yeah, I took all the way.
Awesome. Well, Shane, thank you so much for coming on. This was awesome. We got to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, man.
So that's the reason why I've been doing this. Like, I've known you for about 4 years, but at the same time, I really don't know you.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of other people that I've interviewed is like, I've known you guys since I started cosplaying back in 2013, 2014. I've known a lot of people for 5, 6 years now, but
That's
I'm
crazy,
like, I don't know anyone really. Because, you know, we see each other at conventions.
Yep.
Or events or whatever, and then we say, hey, how you doing? Doing great. All right, awesome, man. Catch you on the next one. Yeah.
Well, now we live 5 minutes from each other, so there's like no reason.
Yeah.
Why
I work 5 minutes from you.
Right.
I still live 30 minutes from here. I live in Garland.
Oh, yeah.
My parents live here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I grew up here. We're in the colony. Yeah, my Sergio lives in Austin Ranch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he lives just up the street from
Yeah,
here.
because he just moved.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we did.
Ah, yay.
Yeah, I spent more time with your brother than with you, bro.
Why didn't change that?
We do.
Sad.
Yeah. So sad.
Snap Day. So
Oh, 10%.
I'm a 10%. Yay!
Wait,
Where
what is the tagline? Stay nerdy. Super.
Keep on nerding.
Keep on nerding.
So
Okay.
catch us at the next show whenever I get my next interview going. It's a whole thing. But as always, keep on nerding. I think you're my longest interview also at 1 hour and 5 minutes. So
I talk too
awesome.
much. I'm sorry.
No, you're great. I love